Welcome to Raging Recaps. Sit back, relax, grab a drink as we tell you some of our stories.
Just point when you're... Hi everyone, and welcome to Raging Recaps, where we discuss sessions past, previous, and present, and possibly future. Thank you so much for joining us. Also, massive shout out to all our new followers here on Twitch. We are super close to our 150 follower giveaway. But before we jump into that, Jez, you want to say something about our charity that we support?
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Just want to throw a quick shout out to a charity we like to mention here, Beyond Blue. It's no surprise that in the times we're in right now that people are feeling pretty average. We've all been there, I'm sure. Beyond Blue are there to lend a hand, lend an ear, and help people navigate through these uncertain times. So we've raised a lot of some money for these guys through Mental Health Awareness Month, which was great fun. We like to throw them just a mention every stream. Do reach out if you need any support at all. That's beyondblue.org.au. Or if you can help them out and support, then also head that way and check them out.
Oh no, Jez, I think you're on mute at the moment.
What? I said all that
Yep.
on mute? Nope. Hang
No?
on. I see.
Very quiet. Well, yeah, no, I just saw... Okay, hopefully that's better. Let us know, Cronus, in the chat. If it's not, shout out to Cronus, the first winner of our first ever giveaway. He's very, well, that's just Jez in real life. He's very quiet.
Let me check other settings here. But carry on. You keep talking.
Yeah, speaking of giveaways, once we hit 150 followers, one of you lucky viewers, be active in the chat on our next stream, which will be Thursday night. Hopefully it's this Thursday, and we don't have to wait till the new year. But we will give away a copy of Tash's Cauldron of Everything, as well as some Raging Rolls merch. Very excited. This is our first independent giveaway. Tash's Cauldron, I got my copy today. I just started to read it, and already I'm just like, yeah, ideas. The ideas cometh.
We'll talk more about it in a moment through our conversation today. I'm bummed actually that I can't be a follower and participate and try and get a copy of this Tashes from you guys, but I'm looking forward to it. I am stoked. I'm like you mentioned, it's just come out today for us here. I'm looking forward to picking up a copy as soon as I can. Hopefully we can give away a copy to one of our viewers when we hit 150.
That'll be so good. Yeah. I recommend it. It's the biggest thing since Beowulf killed the Xanathar.
It's a big statement. Lucky Bear's not on the call today.
Yeah, I know, right? But with that being said, let's jump into the recap of the session. So we started off at the Winchester Shield, discovering that the Stone of Galore, the thing that will lead us to the $1 million gold dragon cache, is gone.
Yeah.
What was going through your minds?
I guess we should have seen something like this coming. What was going through my mind? I thought Dennis had screwed us over, to be honest. Our friendly bartender Ghost. I thought as he sold us out, because he was the only one who had access to it, thanks to our friend Red Helm, who entrusted everything we had to do in the whole campaign to a Ghost we knew nothing about. Stand
by it.
Yeah, so that's where my head was at. What about yourself?
Yeah, I was very unhappy. Hence my very loud F word when we started the stream.
We should have seen it coming, man. We should have seen it coming. How much were we starting to be lured out of the city without any kind of reference back to getting the stone? There was no mention of it. The fact was, the cache was gone.
Yeah.
Right? What good was the stone?
Yeah, but see, I don't like it. The stone leads you to the cache,
Yep.
not the location of the cache. But also, I don't think Dennis was able to steal the stone himself. Someone had to put the whammy on him and the stone, because I was very careful, very, very careful with, I put the glyph of warding on the stone so that nobody but Dennis could touch it. So someone put the whammy on Dennis, and Dennis was able to get the stone.
That's true. That's true. Anyway, the stone is gone now.
It's gone,
Yeah,
and we're on
we've
our way to
gone.
Baldur's Gate now.
It feels like the idea and the whole plot behind the Dragon Heist campaign, we as a party have just butchered it, and now we're a little bit onto something completely different, but still trying to track down this gold as well.
Yeah. Sorry, Cronus. Glyph of warding triggers if it's moved, or if someone other than the specified person touches it. So I specified that Dennis was the only one that was allowed to touch it. So just putting that out there.
The reason Red did that was to stop any other party member screwing him over, basically.
Yeah.
Right?
Mostly also to stop, Red Helm from reneging. Okay. I could touch it because I could turn it off. I put the spell on. I can turn it off when I wanted to. I don't have the stone. I swear.
Uh-huh.
Don't look at me like that, Jess.
I wasn't thinking it before, but I am now.
Yeah. But we decided to pack it up in Waterdeep. We closed down the Winchester Shield, our home, for the last 18 sessions.
Well, to be fair, it was a home that we kind of shut the bed in with destroying the city. However, I was thinking about this recently. We're all thinking we're responsible for destroying the city. We had nothing to do with it, did we?
No. It was Zolgol. I never thought that we destroyed the city. I always knew it was Zolgol that destroyed the city.
Yes. However, if you think about the giant battle over the city with all the statues and the super mega dragon zord. No, I missed an super ultra mega dragon zord.
Yep, thank you.
That whole contraption was controlled by some wizard of the city or something, right? Wasn't us. We're not to blame.
No.
We keep walking around thinking we're the culprits behind this. We had nothing to do with it. We're just as victimized as everybody else.
Yeah, no, I never thought. Okay, we have a question from an inflatable cat. As a DM, will you allow your wizards to make tear gas bombs? With the right rolls and the working alchemical knowledge, yeah, like if they're able to, I would leave it up to the roll of the dice. If they're proficient with alchemical tools, like I would make the DC quite low. But if they weren't, it would more than likely go off in their face.
What would you need? What components would you need to craft something like that?
I don't know. I don't know how to make.
Oh, thanks for the follow, Red Stag.
Thank you so much, Red Stag, for the follow. I don't know how to make tear gas myself. Isn't it? I don't want to try and discuss it. We might get banned on Twitch how to make a chemical bomb.
Let's think about in a fantasy make-believe world.
Yeah,
you would need like the souls of something, I'm sure.
Yeah.
The souls of sadness or something creative like
our
that.
Minotaur's farts.
Yes, that'll do it.
So suffuse the Minotaur farts into a metal capsule. I keep trying not to say capsaicin, because you probably could. Yeah, but you'd have to have the alchemical knowledge to be able to do something like that. You can't just be like a random person like I want to make acid, and try and make acid in like D&D, because the DC on that's going to be super high.
You could do it a different way. You could potentially interpret that in a different way. Instead of it being a gas that produces tears, couldn't it be a vapor which induces uncontrollable sadness?
It's possible. It's possible. And so you're probably looking more at the alchemist subclass of artificer, because they work with chemicals and things like that as well. So they can infuse items with spells. So you could be like Stinking Cloud, infuse like Stinking Cloud grenades and just throw them out into situations where you need to. Yeah.
It's interesting.
That's the way. That's the way I would do it. If I want to be like a full on, like alchemical mad person, I would just go artificer, and same with guns and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, Winchester Shields. A sad goodbye.
To be honest, how attached were we to that thing? We come and go. We have a few sneaky cold ones while no one was paying, and they were flowing. But I think we were supposed to try and make a business of it, but there was nobody there to murder, basically. So we didn't invest much time in that part of the story.
Yeah, it was more about base of operations with free booze. So yeah, but we could have made a go of it if we put our heads to it, but we are a little bit murder hobo-ish.
At times we are.
At times. Yeah.
So, the place fell apart. Dennis the Menace took off like a fart in the wind. We found a wagon with...
Yes, Rochelle. The cantankerous caravan leader. I like her. She has gumption. She has gumption.
Yeah.
I like what she's about. Yeah, that's why. I think we might have been tricked into taking literally the first person who took interest in us, and we're just like, let's go with that.
I think we're all just trying to. What do you think? We should have hunted around for a better offer.
I think what we fucked around a little bit in Waterdeep for 3 sessions.
We did,
right? And now that we have a clear strategy, clear place in mind that we want to go to, Baldur's Gate, I think we were just like, let's go. Let's just take the first opportunity. Paying opportunity, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
We could have tried this ourselves. We probably may not have ended up where we did if we went by ourselves, but we'll save that for later.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't realize at first how big this caravan was. I thought it was just her taking a wagon of goods. But it was only when we stopped for that first night, I think it was, the first camp we set up.
Yep.
And when Lindsay was trying to butter up Red.
Yep. Well, this has brought me to one of the things. Okay, so relationships in D&D and NPCs digging on the PCs and things like that. Like, Ren's had this herself, and Ren has been both the reciprocator and the recipient of
it's all give and take
advances. Ren has hit on people, and Ren has been hit on.
Yes, there you go.
How do you feel about that as a player character?
Good question. I really try to put myself in this situation and think about what would this person do, what would this character do in the environment with that kind of NPC. How would she react? And it could be the case that she just wants to string them along and then thieve whatever they have, and that's the ultimate goal. Or it could be butter them up for information. As much as Ren hits on someone and has been hit on, it's never gone further than that. It's all just been chit chat.
Yeah.
Where would you have taken the conversation with Lindsay if it didn't just stop quite quickly?
So Red Helm, he's not at the moment. He's not focused on that. He's very much focused on get the cash, get, justice for his mother, and then life happens after that. As a player character, I've had romance in previous campaigns and stuff. I don't mind that. It's cool. It's fun. It can lead to interesting things. Although the last time I had a romantic interest in a campaign, she ended up being killed by assassins. Pretty much after, we had some adult time together. And it was very much, cool. So not so much focused on that. Also, I feel like Ren herself, she's not exactly the heteronormative type of woman, is she?
What do you mean? I don't understand the words.
She's not exactly... Well, from what I've seen you play her, does she also like men? Does she just exclusively like women?
No, she's not that fussy.
She's not that fussy, just beauty?
Yeah, she has lived a long time in the wild by herself. She got an itch, you got to scratch it somehow, basically.
Yep.
So that's where her
Fair
head's
enough. Yeah. And in comparison, Red Helm, he's only young as well, so he hasn't had time. As a half elf, he hasn't had time really to figure out all of that. And as I said, his motivator isn't, having fun. He has his goal, and that's his main primary driving focus. So,
how old is Red?
He's 28.
What? 28?
Yeah.
How do ages of elves work and half elves? It's different to humans, right? They mature at different speeds.
Yeah. So elves can live to 800 to 1,000 years old, and half elves can live 150 to 200. So.
Okay. Makes sense then, right? Because I'm thinking, geez, Ren is a lot older than that.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Got it.
Exactly. So he has his focus, and just Ren, as Ren has been around for a lot longer, and Red Helm, he still hasn't really found himself. The whole reason he came to Waterdeep was because he wasn't ready to face what had happened in his past. So,
yeah. Good. So he's not ready for that kind of thing. Lindsay tries to butter him up a little bit. Not interested, still focused on the job at hand.
Yeah. So I tried to very casually be like, hey, I'm not really that interested in, whatever you marriage. It was what she was pretty much proposing to him, and it's no.
Definitely escalated quickly, and then was it Rochelle came over and was saying, why don't you talk to Lindsay as well?
Yeah. And then there was a part where I said something meaning to talk to Rochelle, but it was Lindsay, and then
it's where you're from, right? Something like that.
Yeah. And I was no, didn't want to talk to that. Yeah.
Good. Anyway, it was an uneventful night, by all accounts. Apart from that, I think there was some quiet, some dreamless sleep which occurred, which was the first time in a while that everyone got a bit of shut-eye. And then what surprised me as the caravan trucked on the following day was the terrain changed to be more of a desert-like. I was always picturing the road between Waterdeep and Baldur's Gate to be quite foresty and wilderness, that kind of thing. Then to be desert-like put Ren well out of her comfort zone.
Yeah, it's interesting. The Sword Coast it's a mixed match of things, but I don't mind the desert surrounds so much. It can be very interesting. If I was a ranger and my like your favorite terrain is wilderness, like forests and stuff, yeah.
I think mountains is my favourite terrain.
Mountains.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
Not a lot of
Great
mountains.
for this campaign.
Yeah. Well, you know, wasn't thinking about that at the time. I was trying to think, where would this character be? How would this backstory flow? From what I could figure out. Yeah, thanks, Inflatable Cat. Appreciate the shout out.
What? Oh, yes. Yes, we do. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah, so she is from the mountain area. You know, as far as I know, anyway, she's from mountains in the background. So her being around a desert, not quite sure what to do. Now, I don't think that would imply a disadvantage of any kind of terrain navigation or anything like that, but it doesn't give me advantage much. We'll figure it out. It'll play out.
No.
Yeah,
You're
desert.
just like very different to what you're used to. Yeah, and you had your first. Well, you and the party had their first experience with some sort of mirage-y type thing off the side of the road.
Yeah. I think, what did Rochelle say? This looks a bit sus, and I think there was opportunities to just let it go and just ignore it and truck on.
No. We said that. The party said that, and then Rochelle was like, "No. I want you to investigate that before we continue." And we're like, "Ah!"
Yeah, that's true. We did have to go check it out. And I almost left Bear there. I was trying to say, Bear, you wait here and look after our stuff.
Yeah.
Because I knew that Zim was still staying at the caravan also. Lo and behold, Bear stepped up and followed along. We didn't get too far to check out this mirage before it all turned to shit, basically.
Yeah. We found a nice little town.
Hidden in a wavy mirage of nothingness.
Yeah, with a lovely sign that said, by their sacrifice, our town made safe. And that sign was guarded, or the town and the sign was guarded by a strange Earth-like creature named Roswell.
Roswell. He was so friendly to start off with. Made sense.
He was very friendly.
Roswell greeted us like a champion. He was like the town welcoming committee. He was there to tell us about anything we wanted to know. Just wanted to check us in, basically like a hotel. We're having none of that. He just wanted to take us along to the sheriff.
The sheriff. Yep. Go and see the sheriff in the town of Refuge. Refuge's sheriff.
But I don't think any of us were really too fond of that idea of going to see a sheriff straight away without getting any answers.
No, well, we went to the office and then he wanted us to walk into the cage and stay in the cage.
Yeah, well, none of us were keen on that idea, that's for sure.
No. So we fought and killed him.
The rock golem turns out to be Roswell the rock golem.
I don't know if he was a rock golem. He was something different. He was a mixed match of a couple of different things, I think.
Oh, I have written down rock golem and earth elemental.
Yeah, I had earth elemental written down. I had earth creature. So,
okay. But what I thought was interesting, we had the description around the statue of a human girl with her father.
Yep.
A figure behind them. A sign saying Jack and June. And something in a red robe.
Yeah, the creeper dude that was behind them in the statue.
And this was a statue in the middle of the town. The town square.
Yeah.
Weird. And then I thought it was interesting that DM called out, you look at the clock in the sheriff's office and it said 11:05 a.m. It's like, huh. DM never tells us the time.
I didn't pick up on that. I was a few bees deep by then, so...
Well, anyway, you know the rest of the story. We got stuck in the cell. We almost got stuck in the cell. We let the rock golem have it. It didn't seem like it was going to be a good idea once we started to let loose. I thought, oh god, we're going to be in a serious amount of trouble here. But we took him out, right?
Yeah, we did. Teamwork. We all rolled really well.
Yeah. So he was gone. We met a half orc and another cell locked up. Cassidy, our good friend.
Yeah,
Cassidy.
Cassidy.
What did you think about this Cassidy character with an amazing southern accent?
Yeah, no, I like Cassidy. She was very go get 'em.
She was damn the man, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, she was. She liked explosives a lot, like a lot.
She really did. Actually, good point to bring up, because when we first got to the town, we're talking to Roswell. I think he pointed us in essentially two different directions. One was towards the mines, one was towards the ruins of some temple.
Yeah.
And then there was obviously the town around there. So it came out a little bit later, didn't it, that Cassidy was responsible for blowing up the temple?
Yes, and that's why she was locked up. Yeah.
Yeah.
She blew up the temple and got locked up. Yeah. And
So-
was it the Purple Bandit Gang also was a thing going on?
The Purple Bandit Gang. Yeah.
Or Purple Mask Gang?
Yeah, that's right. No,
Because I remember we were talking with Cassidy, and the bar got attacked, and we heard Purple Mask Gang or something to that effect.
yes. Hang on. Back up a second. I have some other interesting notes we should talk about. The Roswell character had a bird on his shoulder. Remember that?
Yes, the bird, and the bird was the thing that spoke,
The thing
and
that
not
spoke.
the actual Earth creature. Yes.
Once we took the whole Roswell guy down, somebody gave, was it Claymore that restored it with 1 HP?
Yep.
The bird, just the bird.
Yeah.
Then Bear stole some sword or a halberd, and smashed the bird, and so no difference, just a waste of a spell slot. But interesting turn of events that the bird and the Roswell were the one creature.
Yes.
But you're right, we did go to the tavern looking for bandits that we'd heard. Met some idiot confusing us, Ash, the guy that was trying to swindle us for diamonds.
At the bar. Yep. Want to gamble with diamonds, and I almost took him up on that because I need some diamonds for Revivify. So,
I know.
He wouldn't take gold.
The carrot was definitely dangled.
He wouldn't take gold though.
Does Red have any diamonds to gamble with?
He does not. He used them to bring back a family that was promptly turned into mulch by a deity or demigod of some sort.
We're not filthy about that still, are we?
Thanks, Sim. I'm not filthy about that at all. Thanks, Sim.
Oh, too funny. So, we managed to get free of Ash, and as much as he was trying to tempt us into a bit of gambling, it would have been good fun, but we didn't have anything to gamble with.
Yeah, exactly.
It did seem like he was trying to delay us from something. What have I written down here? So we headed off, I think, towards... Where did we go next?
We went to the mine.
We went to the mines. We found...
Some explosives.
We found a disturbed patch of dirt, underneath which was 15 small bombs. And for some reason, at that point, we figured out it was 11:44 a.m.
Yep. And we decided to leave the explosives, and Cassidy approached.
Cassidy came and got the statue. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, and she was like, "Oh, we'll use the explosives to blast open these locked doors." So we all backed up. Cassidy exploded the bombs, and we were back at the beginning, back at the sign for Roswell. Met, the sign for refuge, and we met Roswell again, and yeah,
that was confusing. That was confusing as buggery. Confusing as that event. Like, okay, was it? What was it that caused us to reset? Was it the explosion going off? Was it?
Well, we did
clock
meet
significant?
an old lady who said who told us to save the town.
Just in the middle, in the reset. Right?
Yeah, in the reset. Yeah.
Did we figure out who that old lady was?
We highly suspect that it's June.
Well, you think it's June? June is there trying to help get us to save the town. How? We still have no idea.
Yeah. Would not have a clue.
So, second attempt. How did we go that time? Remember?
I lost my notes there, so I'm just gonna like close my book. I stopped taking notes. So second attempt, we sped run it. Speed run it. Sped run. Sped run.
Like
I'm just gonna say sped run. And talked to Roswell, told him that June had sent us, and then headed straight to the jail. No, not the jail. Headed straight to the mine.
And Roswell was chasing us.
Yeah. And we broke down the lock and stuff. The ground started to shake. We found the lockers, the elevator shaft, and the meat chest.
That's right.
And the punch clock thingy.
Yes. Elevator, punch card thing, an esky with meat in it, and lockers with 26 different names on them, each starting with a different letter of the alphabet.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a clue in that. We have not solved it yet. I have no idea.
No, did we try the town name, Refuge?
Probably. I think we've systematically tried every letter first, every name first in punching in the card, and every time we blew up and started again.
Yeah. So we just kept going and kept getting Groundhog's Day and seeing June. And just kept going and going and going. And eventually, poor old lady who's doing the resets is looking the worse for wear currently.
She's struggling. So I think every reset affects her more and more. I think she's lucky to be hanging on by a ethereal thread. Yeah,
especially with that dumbass group of people. Because we didn't have that wizard. We did not have a wizard.
She could have given us a friggin' clue though, right?
I know, right?
There's a statue of her in the city. How do we fix it? I've got questions on what to do next, but I won't yet. So that's where we're up to, right? That's where we finished off. We're still stuck in this.
That's where we finished off. We're still in the town called Refuge, which more than likely I might name, depending if we stay the entire session there. That's going to be the name of the next session. A town called Refuge.
God, I hope we get out of it. I can't stand 3 hours.
I really want to get to Baldur's Gate before the end of the year. So,
all right, let's park that one there. And I've had a question already before. Where's my little transition thing?
I don't know. I'm not with you in your office, so
no, you can't see my screens, but that's okay. Bit of Q&A time. I discovered a question which I thought was pretty interesting on the interwebs. A question for DMs such as yourself. When you're running a combat scenario, you've typically got a number of different creatures to manage. How do you manage their health, hit points, if they've got spell slots and everything? There's a lot of stuff to keep track of there. How do you manage that as a DM?
Yeah, so when I have minis, I write down, so if I've got a mini and I say they're different coloured minis or there's something slightly different about the different minis, I write down an abbreviation. So purple orc mini, so P orc. And then I write their health bar, and then I can keep track of them that way. 1 to however many there are. It can be tricky. I've made mistakes in the past. But overall, it can be tricky with multiple enemies as long as you're able to keep track of them as the DM. the players don't usually notice too much.
Okay, so you just use pen and paper?
Pen and paper. Yeah, I haven't tried it with Roll20 with like a big group of things. I shudder at the thought because I've seen how it's gone for both Robin and Beowulf with like a lot of enemies, and I'm just like, that's too much. But like like when I do Battle Arena and there's like one enemy, I just use that little circle. Like I think it's the green one. I use that for health.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. But I also have like a pen and paper to make sure that I'm keeping track of it as well.
I saw an interesting solution to that question, which I thought would work well, but obviously is probably over engineering it. Setting up a spreadsheet, like
yeah.
No spreadsheets.
Oh, like
there's a lot, so you still got to figure out who's who on the map, right? Who's doing what.
Yeah, exactly. So Roll20 is good for that because you can click on the individual thing and you can be like, say you start with 50 health and then someone attacks that token, then you minus however much damage that is, and then you go until they're dead. So
yeah, the VTCs make it easier for sure.
Yeah. Or you just give them like a basic generic health bar, and then over time they either start to get really weak and die quickly, or with like just something like orcs or goblins or something like that, they're intelligent creatures. They won't keep fighting until they're all dead. They will more than likely start to try to turn around and run away. So that you can also use that if it begins to get too difficult to manage a lot of enemies in an encounter.
Oh, okay. If it's just getting all too difficult, you just go, if the party's starting to get the upper hand, the bad guys just flee.
Well, as long as the creatures are intelligent. So like someone like a cult fanatic, they won't want to flee. They will fight to the last because they're fighting for their cause that they believe in. That's all that their life is, sort of thing.
Of course.
But, like goblins, they can be cowards and stuff like that. Orcs, whilst they might not want to run, like they're also intelligent creatures. Or a ferocious, rabid owlbear might fight to the last just because it's rabid, sort of thing.
Okay, cool. What other secret DM tricks are there? What else goes on behind the screen?
Like, in what way? Like, generalize. So...
Let's talk about movement then.
Movement, yeah. So, you gotta think, like, your party might be coordinated, they might not be, but if you've got an enemy of bandits, if you've got, like, a bunch of bandits, they fought together for a little while, they'll know how to coordinate their attacks with each other. So, you've got, they'll know who their rogues and spellcasters and stuff like that are.
Okay.
And they'll try and coordinate that with what they're doing.
Okay.
And a lot of the time, if the leader dies, they're more than likely going to want to run away. They won't want to keep fighting because they'll just be like, fuck this shit, our leader just got taken out. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. It must be so... Like, how much effort does it take to get into that headspace of like, okay, this group is going to work as a team, or part of them are going to work as a team. This couple of like, I don't know, gnolls, or I don't know, some of the random creatures are just going to be on their own doing shit. Like, at what point does your brain just start to melt?
Well, a lot of it, like, I try not to overthink things too much. I like to think a little bit on it, and then the rest is improv. Like, it's improvised things, because that's why, like, with the last Battle Arena that I ran, like, whenever the Tyrannosaurus Rex or something got attacked by one of you guys, and the attack was successful, its next turn was against that person, because it got pain from that person.
Yeah.
That's how an animal would react. Say if you took out most of a bandit's HP in a turn, hey, it might think about, hey, I might not want to be close to this person. I might want to think about getting the F away from this thing.
Oh, now you censor yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. I guess
A little bit censor. There might be children listening.
So I guess it kind of comes down to not trying to overcomplicate the encounter with a whole series of different types of creatures, but keeping it quite not simple, but relevant and contextual into that scenario. Not just going,
exactly.
I'll have a bit of this and a bit of that and a bit of this guy, because that's just going to be chaos.
Yeah. Awesome. Simplicity is key when it comes to DMing. Yeah.
Good, I like it. Question from Inflatable Cat. How do you create interesting stories for a homebrew world? How much homebrew have you been involved in, Dan?
Well, I've homebrewed, I do Curse of Strahd, but I homebrew the crap out of it because of the party and what happens with the party. I like to think, because Curse of Strahd, it's gothic, it's horror, there's a lot of undeath in the thing, and, very much influenced by Walking Dead. If there's undeath in that world, there is going to be a zombie horde. So I had this traveling zombie horde of just normal zombies, ogre zombies. There was a beholder zombie that pretty much led the entire horde. And then they encountered it a couple of times until the final battle with at least the zombie beholder. It ended up with them defending the town, one of the towns in Barovia, against a horde of zombies.
So that was something that was not in the Curse of Strahd campaign. You just decided that, okay, this makes sense at this time. I think in this world, I want this to happen. I feel like this should happen. Make it so.
Yeah, exactly. You make the world work for you. Different things Inflatable Cat. If you've seen my battle arena when they versed the vampire Goose, Count Gusula, I thought of an entire backstory in my head that he was this, bandit captain sort of thing who was quite good at what he was doing. He was then plucked up by this, multiversal entity to run a battle arena and then turn into a vampire. So I kind of worked backwards. So you'll see in our playlist on YouTube, hashtag YouTube, the party versed him some people in the party versed him in the battle arena, and then I used him also in one of the raging, was it Rolls and D&D, or Rolls and Dragons
Rolls and Dragons
thing, back as a human, and then he disappeared from that and was taken by the thing. So it's just, you're writing your own homebrew at the moment. I
am. It's I'm really enjoying it. Building my homebrew. I started out with, because it sounds like the way you're approaching some of this stuff homebrew is creating that character and finding the environment where they are suitable, where they are comfortable. I'm trying to create a world in my homebrew which is, it's just really a world to start with. No spoilers. It's fine. But it's very hard to create that from scratch because there's so much you could possibly try to create.
Yeah.
I didn't know whether to start with. I mean, you see maps around the internet. So do you start with a map, and does that tell you how things land? Do you start with kingdoms? Does that tell you how things are formed? Eventually, I just decided, you know what? I'm gonna create this world as though I am not an adventurer, but more an explorer, a historian, a scientist type person. Plant myself in it and just try and visualize what I see around myself, and let that many little encounters or experiences then form pieces of the puzzle which will come together. And it has shifted for a little bit from what I originally intended so far, but it's still all part of the one world. And where it's gone at the moment, I've created now in the last session of world building, which I think is still up on Twitch. I
Twitch
accidentally
exclusive. Just saying. Twitch exclusive.
I accidentally discovered the entire campaign purpose. Wasn't my intent behind that little, thought experiment, but it came out, and from there, from that process, I've spawned like 7 or so. Let's go with a number of different subplots, which all are interwoven, and now I've just got to put together the backstory behind each one of those things, and that'll be a long process. Also, I'm still also creating characters to plant in there as well. I've seen how some people create characters and just basically try and write up a stat sheet for them. The way I'm approaching Homebrew is less about just writing a stat sheet, but more about giving that character some kind of personality, and then handing that personality to somebody else and let them define what that stat sheet should look like to some degree. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, that makes total sense. And you can go even a step further, as you yourself, as the explorer of your world, could even then become a NPC or someone who is written about in your world's journals and like encyclopedias and things, as the great Roberts of House Jeremy.
He hasn't got a name yet.
Yeah. Came about, the volcanic isles, and noted upon the strange fungi that dwelt within those ranges, sort of thing. Yeah.
Funnily enough, that's exactly how I started out thinking about how to do it. So, the sketches, what would this person actually be? You can't see it. Be writing or thinking or looking at and sketching out. That's exactly how I wanted to do it, because then you can get inside the character, the head of that character, and look at the world through their eyes. So you're looking at one thing at a time rather than being overwhelmed by the macro view of everything.
Yeah, exactly. Because there can be quite a bit. Like, you can do it both ways. You can start outwards and work in on your homebrew world, or you can start inwards and work out on the way that your world works. And hey, that's D&D. There's no right or wrong way to do it with homebrew. There's no right or wrong way. You can do it if it works for you. Hey, it's okay. I
think, given what you were talking about, how you added extra things into Curse of Strahd and what I have in my head for my world, I guess the golden rule of any kind of homebrew, I think, in my subjective opinion, is flexibility.
Yeah.
Giving people extra creative license on top of what you've created to change things, and not necessarily having to design the entire campaign or the entire world to the nth degree, but at least creating a starting point and then letting the story flow from there.
Yeah, exactly. It's as Matt Mercer says in his DM tips, rule of cool is key.
Yes.
If it's cool and you think it could work, let's see where it goes. If it's like, obviously absolutely impossible, like don't entertain it. But like with our super mecha Dragonzord, super ultra dragon mechazord, sorry. I asked the DM if we could do that, and he's like, if you can figure out a way, and then we did, and it was awesome.
It was awesome. It was the rule of cool in full flight, and the city of Waterdeep paid the price for the rule of cool, but it was awesome. He couldn't. It
wasn't us, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly, it was not our problem. Not my circus, not my monkeys, basically.
Yeah. Speaking of that, going into this Thursday session.
Yeah. Let's talk about what's coming up.
We're
back to puzzle mode.
No puzzles. I hate puzzles. It's
I'm
the fucking
expecting
Puzzle
the Puzzle
Master has
Master.
put us up to this. I'm gonna fucking kill him.
He's got the Puzzle Master is the red hooded figure in the back of the statues for sure.
For sure. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's gonna come about that. That's it. Yeah. No. Well, we haven't. We thought about it. Like we kind of have ideas. We're going to the temple. I think we decided at the end of our session we're going to the temple to see if we can get more clues.
Yes, that I think is prudent because we've spent enough time, enough cycles in the mines and got absolutely nowhere. We tried all kinds of different combinations of those letters, names, places, and no matter what we did, nothing.
Yeah, and we haven't lost more than one single day.
Yeah, it's definitely Groundhog Day type thing, right?
God, it's so bad.
What's going to happen? What's going to happen, do you think? Let's say we're going to figure out a way to get out of here, otherwise, damn the DM. Do we end up coming out of this with any kind of reward? Or is it just poof, we bam back to...
I really hope there is like some reward, because the last reward that I got went to Zim, and Zim keeps ending up with things. And
It's true.
hey, like, as a player character, I'm, above such worldly possessions because I'm a cleric. But as me, I'm like, I want magic items. Give me magic items right now. I'm about to go and see my father, who murdered my mother and her side of the family, like all the elves on my side of the family. I want something to help me with that.
Yeah, it's true. Zim gets all the cool stuff, and he doesn't even have to work for it. It just gets handed to him on a platter. Or it becomes his hand, as we've already figured out.
Or it becomes his hand, yeah. Yeah. Or he just, plays with his wand, and then all of a sudden there's a crystal on it.
Oh, God. We could end up with a bag full of diamonds. This is a
I wouldn't mind
that.
I really would not mind that.
That'd be alright.
That would be good for the party. Just saying, hashtag Revivify.
Going into Baldur's Gate, we could absolutely need that, I think. Or, this town of refuge has a certain quirk or wrinkle in it in its time. Do we get some kind of way to control time in a finite way? That'd be cool.
That would be cool and very useful, considering there's been a couple of times where Red Helm has slipped up with his helm and just on, unintentionally. That could be useful. And if we could stop time and be able to navigate for a little bit, wouldn't be the worst thing.
Have you, as DM in your experience, ever like, does this kind of thing exist? Time magic? I haven't heard of it yet.
So you've got like the stuff from Critical Role, like Dunamancy, control of space and time, sort of thing. And even before that, there's like a 9th level spell called Time Stop, but it's not a very good spell for the level that it's cast at. But that's because the control of time and space is
a big deal.
a big fucking deal, just like it is in real life. Like, the act of, looking at a photon changes how it is on, its level. Like, I've been watching Cosmos, like the new season, like last week. So, the act of observing something can fundamentally change it from the way it would normally act, which just blows my fucking mind, and it hurts my head so much. Like, I get nosebleeds and shit.
It would
looking
really
at that on a magic level, it can be very hard, and I just don't worry too much about it because my character is not a wizard. Because if I try to think of it and how I can apply it, like apply certain things to the world. Like there is a reason that the wish spell only works a certain amount of times. So like every time you cast the wish spell, level 9 spell, you have to roll your percentage dice, and if you roll a certain number, it stops. You can no longer cast that spell. Because
too chaotic.
Ultimate power. You have to have checks and balances. There is a reason that the weave, as magic is called in D&D, works the way it does.
What else could it be, do you reckon? What else could the ultimate reward of escaping the time loop of refuge be? Is it a case of weapons? Do we get...
Level 7.
Level 7?
Level 7!
Not a bad reward. What do we get at level 7? Is that a stats update? It's not, is it? That's at level 8.
No, but we get some cool stuff as, I think range. Like everyone gets, like every level you try, like you usually do get something, whether it be from your subclass or your class. But level 7 wouldn't be bad. Hey, I wouldn't mind being powerful going up against Redhelm's father, because I have a feeling that it's not going to go fantastic.
That's great. That's great to hear. Fills me with heaps of confidence. The relationship that Red has with his dad, and we're just going charging straight into hometown, saying hello.
I didn't want to. There's a reason we spent 3 weeks, 3 sessions in Waterdeep, because I did not want to do this.
This is your backstory, man. It needs a resolution. We're going to see your backstory through. I mean, I'm bringing a demon with us, or Ren is bringing a demon with us. So what could go wrong? Taking a demon to Baldur's Gate.
What if your father is actually Zolgog?
That's not what I was led to believe through the encounter.
I like how the car went past as you looked off to the side. That was great.
I even think you could hear it. It's a fair way away. But yeah, no, there's lots that could go wrong in that scenario. We've still got to look at Clay's backstory, tap into that. Bear's backstory.
You're actually Clay's sister, so...
He's a half-elf, isn't he?
Yeah. Doesn't mean you can't be brother and sister.
Oh man, that's going to get messed up. And what? I wonder if your dad's involved somehow. We're one big family?
Ooh.
Is your dad my dad? Are you me? Is Ren, Red, and Clay?
No. My dad isn't human. My dad is a human.
Okay, so I'm good from that.
Yeah, but my mother was an elf.
Right.
So
you and Clay Red and Clay can be related.
But we could also be related. We could also have the same mother.
True. Oh man. I hope I'm just happy the DM is rather distracted at the moment.
I know, right?
Because this, talking about homebrew inflatable cat, this is where the magic happens. Just trying to sit on how if someone gives you a bit of a backstory to work with, how you work that into the whole campaign. That's all homebrew for sure.
Like I had one of my players say my character has amnesia. So I got to write her entire backstory, and I was like, "Thank you so much for this gift."
Was it a gift? It wasn't.
Allowed me.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it just allowed me to work certain things in, like with her and some of the other characters and the big bad and stuff. And she didn't know anything about this, so it worked well for me.
Worked well for you. Did it end up being a backstory that they were happy with?
Yeah, no, she was really happy. When she got her memories back, I sent her an email. I wrote out a Word document with her what her memories are, and she was happy with it. So I was like, cool,
awesome, cool, man. We've been on for just about an hour now. I wanted to spend a few minutes talking about your exploration of Tasha's. What can you tell us so far? What have we got in store?
I'm only a little bit in, because unfortunately it only just got released today in Australia. I know America has had it since, what's it, 18th of November? 17th?
Yeah, about a week or a half. Yeah, something like that.
I'm enjoying it so far. It is the rules for like just the class stuff. It's 2 pages and it's very simple stuff. So say, hey, I want to play a dwarf. I want to play a dwarf bard, but my ability score increase won't work for that. It literally just says talk with your DM and change that Constitution +2 to Charisma +2. And just work into your backstory why your dwarf isn't, as hardy and as stout as other dwarfs. Because, hey, you might have grown up amongst elves. You might have been adopted by a traveling circus or something like that. It is. Yeah. Oh, if you're a race where you get like +2 to something and +1 to something else, you can't put all those 3 points into one thing. You have to like go 2 in one and then 1 in another. But that's awesome. Like, it's still really simple, really easy things to do to say, hey, I want to play a dwarf, but I don't know how to play a dwarf that isn't a fighter. Or, little interesting things like that so far. First impressions, gold. Would recommend. 12 out of 10.
12 out of 10. It's super convenient.
10.
We've got a giveaway running right now for Tashes. Right? How handy is that?
I know, right? How many followers are we away there at the Google?
I think we are up to... Nothing is loading for me.
Nothing is loading for you. I'm using my phone because for some reason it doesn't update live when I'm on Twitch.
We are 9 followers away from hitting that goal of 150 and activating our giveaway of Tashes. We would love to give it away before Christmas to some lucky viewers.
That will be fantastic. But with that being said, we'll be back Thursday night.
Absolutely.
For session 20 of Dragon Heist. I'm just going to call it Dragon Heist from now on because it's not Waterdeep, it's not Baldur's Gate. We are Sword Coast Dragon Heist.
Yes. Dragon
Be
Chase,
sure to tune in because more than likely, if we keep going the way we are going, we're going to be having our giveaway. Then.
Yeah, tell your friends.
Tell your friends, tell your family, tell everyone, tell anyone you meet on the street. Just be like, follow Raging Rolls on Twitch. Or else.
Get your party involved, get all your party in there, hit that follow, then increase the chances of someone in the party in your group getting a copy of Tashes and expanding your campaign.
Exactly. And hey, the more followers that we get, the more time we can actually devote to providing you guys with content D&D related. Just saying. And we can talk about it. And I love chatting with Cronus and your inflatable cat on on the stream. This has been fantastic. It's great. But with that, guys, don't forget to be excellent to one another. And hey, we'll see you guys on Thursday night.
See you on Thursday. Rage on. Take it easy, everyone.
Rage on!